Alright, Souls-like fans, listen up. We've got another contender entering the ring. The First Berserker Khazan. It's got the checkpoints, the lost XP, the brutal bosses. But twist. Imagine layering Sekiro's parry system over Nioh's gear and skill depth, all with a unique anime-esque art style. Sound interesting? Confusing? Potentially awesome? Let's dive in and see if Khazan earns its scars. Developed by Neople, the minds behind the Dungeon and Fighter universe, Khazan takes clear inspiration from giants like Sekiro and Nioh. You've got your bonfire-style checkpoints, your lost XP on death, but also a distinct cel-shaded art style and some unique progression twists. So does this blend of influences create a legendary warrior? Or is it just another pretender to the throne? Let's find out. Story-wise, you are Khazan, a once-celebrated general, framed for treason and brutally tortured. Yeah, they even severed the tendons in his arms. Exiled and broken, he makes a pact with a mysterious entity called Blade Phantom to gain otherworldly powers and hunt down those who wronged him. Sounds epic, right? Well, honestly, the story is pretty standard revenge fare. If you're deep into the dungeon and fighter lore, you might get a kick out of Khazan's origins. But for newcomers, the narrative feels pretty thin. Characters aren't fleshed out, emotional beats often fall flat, and it mostly serves just to move you from point A to point B. Props to Ben Starr for giving Khazan a suitably gruff voice though. Ultimately, don't come here expecting a deep, gripping saga. Where Khazan does take a page from Nioh is its structure. It's mission-based, sending you into distinct, self-contained levels. There are main missions pushing the plot and optional side missions, though the review notes these often reuse areas and bosses. They do offer worthwhile rewards, like unlocking the blacksmith, but aren't always the most exciting diversions. The main missions offer good aesthetic variety, from monster-filled fishing villages to grim desert labor camps. While you're rewarded for poking around with gear and upgrades, the level design itself is mostly linear. There are a few standout exceptions, but don't expect the intricate, interconnected labyrinths found in From Software's best. It feels like these levels are primarily designed as arenas for the main event, the combat. And thankfully, the combat is where the First Berserker truly shines. It's a stamina-based system with light and heavy attacks, a dodge, and a crucial block. Both you and your enemies have stamina bars, leading to this tense dance where you're trying to break their stance for a massive, brutal attack before they do the same to you. The star of the show is the parry system, called the Brink Guard. This is where the Sekiro influence is strongest. Aggressive enemies will unleash flurries of attacks, and you're challenged to perfectly time your blocks. Dodging is possible, but the timing is tight. Nailing a Brink Guard, however, feels fantastic. You get that satisfying clash of steel, sparks fly, and you actively chip away at the enemy's health and stamina. Even if you block slightly early, you still negate the damage at a higher stamina cost, making defense a core part of your offense. You have to learn enemy patterns to succeed against tougher foes. Of course, some attacks like grabs or special burst attacks can't be blocked, keeping you on your toes and forcing you to dodge or use specific counters. It makes defense feel active and incredibly rewarding. Offensively, things feel weighty and impactful. There's a real crunch to landing hits. You have 3 distinct weapon types: dual axe and sword, a greatsword, and a spear. While only 3 might sound limited, each has its own unique feel and dedicated skill tree. You can unlock passive buffs and active skills, letting you chain together some seriously satisfying combos. Plus, you can respec your skill points for free anytime, encouraging experimentation. I personally gravitated towards the spear for its range and the cool moonlight stance that creates after-image attacks. Following the Nioh inspiration further, gear plays a big role. You'll loot helmets, weapons, armor, etc. of different rarities, each with random attributes like increased stamina or brutal attack damage. Gear sets offer fixed, powerful bonuses. There's definitely RNG involved, but eventually you can craft specific sets to perfectly match your playstyle. But progression doesn't stop there. Khazan has multiple layers. You spend XP on core stats like vitality and strength, sure, but you also find and equip phantoms for passive boosts. Collectibles grant vengeance points to increase specific damage types. Destroying hidden red crystals improves XP gain and health recovery. You can even summon and upgrade NPC companions to help with tough boss fights. This multifaceted system really lets you tailor the game's difficulty and your character's strengths. And yes, there's an easy mode if you need it. And you might need that flexibility, because on normal difficulty, this game is tough. Bosses especially feel like major skill checks, demanding that you learn patterns through failure. But the review stresses these fights feel fair, not cheap. They're tense, engaging, and the sheer variety of bosses and regular enemies, from dagger-wielding thugs to massive demons and spectral knights, is impressive. The cel-shaded art style really makes these designs pop with a unique, almost anime-like clarity that sets it apart visually. So let's break it down. What's the verdict on the First Berserker Khazan? The combat feels fantastic, with satisfying weight and impact. The emphasis on parrying makes defense active and rewarding. Weapon skill trees add depth and exciting combo potential. And the multi-layered progression system offers great customization and ways to improve. The bad: the story is largely forgettable and fails to create emotional connection. Side missions can be repetitive, even if the rewards are useful. And the level design is quite linear, lacking the sense of discovery found in top-tier Souls-likes. Ultimately, despite a weak narrative and somewhat restrictive level design, the First Berserker, Khazan's excellent combat carries the experience. It's challenging, engaging, satisfying, and backed by diverse enemies and deep progression. While it wears its influences on its sleeve, the specific blend of Sekiro-like parrying, Nioh-style structure and loot, and its own unique visual flair and progression systems help it carve out its own identity. If you're looking for a challenging action RPG with a heavy focus on rewarding defensive combat and deep character building, and you don't mind a bare-bones story, then the First Berserker Khazan is definitely worth checking out. It's a thrilling Souls-like that manages to stand out in a very crowded genre. So, what do you think? Are you planning on picking up the First Berserker Khazan? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content like this, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching. I'm Fish, and I'll see you in the next one.